What's up, guys? It's Ricky from the Church Reality Check platform, and I'm here on Unpopular Opinion podcast. And I wanted to share my solo shoot at, my solo go at it conversation on what I think is an unpopular opinion, but should become a mainstream opinion because I think it's much more beneficial for what kind of conversations we are having, either online or offline. And that is always seek to study both sides of the conversation in its full depth, uh, so that you don't feel threatened when you go into spaces that are not commonly in your views. I would say it in that way, because there's a tendency to have the wrong kind of conversation, which becomes combative and unproductive to either parties, because we come at it thinking only of our own version and see the others as stupid without considering that they too might have gone the whole full mile. That way you don't feel threatened when you have your conversations, which is what I think is happening within the church space right now, is that the more people find this opposition, they feel threatened and backed off. They don't seek to understand why. First of all, do I feel threatened? Is because you don't know enough to feel like you don't have to feel under threat. And so that's where I think we are right now. We are in a phase where, because of the lack of study or the lack of in-depth study of what you personally believe and what others believe, it is exposing those gaps. It's exposing those gaps to conversations that are very unhealthy at the moment, but should be seen in a positive light, to say it's time to study. Let's get away from the ignorance. What is it that you truly believe, and what do they believe? And why do you think they are wrong? And why do you think they may count you as wrong? Once you've studied that, you won't feel threatened and you'll be able to have a productive conversation with them. Let's see that as a mainstream opinion in a couple of years. Give it a couple of years. Don't expect that in each and every space that you go to, but let that here be a common perspective or viewpoint. For now, it's still very unpopular. You're not going to find a lot of people that are willing to have conversation with you without looking at you as if you're stupid. It's just the case. You hold a Bible, stupid. How did you not consider 1, 2, 3, and 4? This must mean that you're stupid. This is very shallow-minded in the sense that you are not considering what experiences have determined whether what that person has believed. And so, and you can see this example on my platform, where we don't only present an opposition for a false teaching or a teaching that might not be traditionally Christian. We also present Christians who are in the wrong. We present people outside the Christian faith that are wrong, to say it's not just one version of Christian, because there's this tendency of saying, hey, abazalwane. No, we are not all the same. It's very lopsided to think in that manner. So it's always my goal to present. You might find a person who believes this, but the likelihood is that there is a person who actually completely goes the opposite. I'll give you an example of one particular teaching where you might find 2, 3, or even 4 different perspectives on. First will be the Catholics, something like baptism. They will approach it from a perspective of saying, as long as a person is born in this earth, they should be baptized from a child's age. But if you research that teaching comes from the ages when they were teaching that if a person dies without baptism, they go to hell. So the mothers started to come into the church and say, hey, you better baptize my kids. I don't want my kids going to hell. And so the teaching was not even based on what the Bible says. If you go to the more current views, your Pentecostals, your charismatics, that's where we have a little bit more balance, to say baptism is when you are affirming your faith. It's an outward expression of affirmation of faith. And so that would be an example of seeing a perspective where you have 2 views which one should consider that might not be all that obvious. And so in my platform, that's what I mostly seek to do, to present the opposite of what another person might not consider. People are sometimes even offended by things like offering, giving tithes, and all those kind of things. And so there is also another perspective, is that the people that have been teaching that have not considered what the Bible actually teaches. It's within the law of Moses that the tithe of offering was given. It's not within the New Testament, and you don't see the disciples teaching it. But if you only hear one view and you take it to be the mainstream view for every kind of Christian, you can create a mistake. And I think that's why we need to balance it out. We need to learn, what do the other people believe? It helps the conversation. And so let's let that be an unpopular that becomes the popular. It's Ricky. Love you lots and hope you find your path in this journey. Can be a hectic one. I'll see you later. Salute.